Hey everybody, Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer welcoming you into PNC Studios at Hallis Hall for our game preview for Week 13. The mighty Arizona Cardinals, Tommy, 9-2, coming off the bye to Soldier Field for a noon kickoff. We'll have it for you on News Radio 105.9 WDBM starting with a 9 a.m. pregame. And we'll be back at Soldier Field, happy to do so, as the Bears team comes in off a win, a much-needed win, snapping their 5-game skid in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Okay. You did enough to get the job done. That 18-play drive to finish was impressive. And Andy Dalton said the right things, did the right things, and played really hard and aggressive, not only passing the ball. We found openings to leave the pocket. He was doing so, picked up some pretty big first downs.
Yeah, but that 18-play drive should leave a lasting impression on your coaches. What are you capable of doing at the end of a game that can be sustained from the beginning of a game till the end of a game? And I think there is a lot of growing opportunities on this offense, within that drive, within what this offense is capable of being, so they can have that type of presentation for the whole game, not just the final 8+ minutes and 18 plays.
As of this taping, we don't know who the starting quarterback will be. Probably leaning more towards Andy Dalton as a rib injury takes some time, as Justin Fields does have cracked ribs. Other injuries of note, obviously, still no Akeem Hicks working through his situation, and Roquan Smith at inside linebacker. Tom, hamstring injury after 18 snaps in a game he was really playing well in, and that's a huge loss if it's a sustained injury.
Oh, it's a significant loss, because what can he do? Roquan Smith, he can take a back individually out of the backfield. He can blitz individually against the back in the backfield. He can cover tight ends. He can cover backs. So, I mean, there's a variety of roles that he fills from his position. But now, you know, someone else, if they do have to step forward, they're going to be held up in the same regard as what Roquan is, and that's what you should strive for. Try to be as good as the guy in front of you.
Well, Christian Jones filled that role in that game against his old team, the Lions, along with Alec Ogletree doing the job at inside linebacker. Okay, who are the Arizona Cardinals going to be looking at? In the absence right now, until he's healthy through a hamstring injury, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney is emerging. Darnell Mooney is a story right now. He is on track for an 1,100-yard season. The impressive thing about Darnell Mooney right now, it doesn't matter if it's Fields, it doesn't matter if it's Dalton. He's finding ways to get open down the field. He's beating coverage. He's excellent at route running. He says he wants to be a perfect route runner. He's on that track. He's getting a lot of targets. He's now the most targeted receiver on the team, but he's getting big plays every week, the explosives that this team is dying to get.
And out of a variety of positions. He can line up the far wide receiver to the left. He can line up in the slot. He can line up in the backfield. He can go in motion. So there's a lot of things that this offense can do with Darnell Mooney to influence opportunities for other players. And when you see what Darnell Mooney's capable of, he catches well in traffic, he runs well after he has the ball in his hands, he can separate from defenders. But then you go and you look at what it's doing for Jakeem Grant, for Damiere Byrd, for Marquise Goodwin, for Cole Kmet, for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, what is it doing for Graham and Kmet?
It's opening up opportunities downfield, because if you run Darnell Mooney out of the slot, who's going to cover him? And look at how much field he has offered to him. If he's just trying to occupy attention downfield after 20 yards, and you look at how well Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet can run, it opens up windows of opportunities for them. If you use the versatility of a guy like Jakeem Grant at near the line of scrimmage, whether it's a screen, it's an outlet pass, or it's something out of the backfield itself, it's opening up space for the other athletes to get involved. And when you talk about Damiere Byrd, you talk about Marquise Goodwin, and you talk about Jakeem Grant, you're talking about 3 speedsters, along with Darnell Mooney. But because of teams are focusing on Mooney, now it's offering other opportunities for the other receivers.
Flip it back to defense. We got to talk about Robert Quinn. He is, he's a bear, man. Yeah. He's a bear. He
no
is
pun intended.
A bear. Right. Yes, I love the way he's playing. I mean, he's playing smart. He's changing up his speeds of pass rush. He's going at it in a variety of different ways. It's somebody the Arizona Cardinals will definitely have circled. 11 sacks in 11 games. Only 2 Bears in history have done that through the first 11 games. Your old teammate and good friend Richard Dent, the Hall of Famer, had 12 sacks in 11 games.
A lot like Richard Dent. Richard Dent had an arsenal as a pass rusher. He could use a variety of techniques against the type of offensive tackle he was playing against. And I think that's the same thing with Robert Quinn. He's got a style of pass rushing that's really difficult to get your hands on each and every time. If you go and you stab at Robert Quinn, now he uses his bendability, you're missing, and now you're leaning forward where he's coming around you. But another thing that I like about Robert Quinn is his ability to complement other players. A couple of the big plays that Bilal Nichols had in the game the other day was because of the initial move and the initial rush of Robert Quinn. So that's the highest praise that you can give any player. What do you do for your teammates? Robert Quinn is doing a lot individually, but he's also doing a lot for the rest of his linebackers and defensive linemen that line up with him.
Well, this Bears defense have their hands full for the Arizona Cardinals. The expectation is Kyler Murray, who is an MVP candidate this year, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, getting sacked quite a bit, mobile, coming off what is believed to be was a high ankle sprain. So he's missed a chunk of time, but they had a bye week built in. He's missed 3 games. Colt McCoy filled in. They went 2-1 and did a nice job. But they've got weapons where they can affect, as the term goes, every blade of grass. The addition of Zach Ertz, obviously, to Rondale Moore, the rookie, out of the slot. You got DeAndre Hopkins, and you got James Conner coming out of the backfield, getting enough done to be dangerous. And in the passing game as well. He's got 13 combined touchdowns. Kyler Murray has a lot of options. How do the Bears attack him?
You know, and again, as the time of this taping, there's 4 quarterbacks that could play in the game on Sunday. But when you think of a guy like Zach Ertz specifically, he's been targeted 29 times. He has 22 catches. He is a person that came over here in a trade that filled a void within that offense that creates more explosiveness. He's a big targeted guy downfield. When you look at Moore, the talented rookie out of Purdue, guy runs as well as anybody in the league, but he's also has the versatility a lot like a couple guys the Bears have. He's an explosive guy, and if you put
he's
him,
a return guy.
yeah,
too.
If you put him in space, you know, a lot like Jakeem Grant, he's a really difficult open field tackle.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite guys coming out of the draft at Purdue.
Was.
He was definitely, I had him circled. I like the
Circle,
smaller guys.
Squared, X, you had everything about this guy.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't kill the Bears on Sunday, that's for sure. Christian Kirk, their leading receiver, and DeAndre Hopkins also working through a hamstring injury, missed his last game against Seattle. He's got 7 touchdowns. So a lot of versatility there. Murray makes things happen in clutch moments. That's his MO right now. They are excellent on third down. Bears have to be very, very good on third down in this game. They have a number 4 ranked scoring offense in the NFL right now. They also have a top 5 scoring defense. What are they seeing? What are you seeing on tape from the Arizona defense right now? What are they doing?
To me, you know, their versatility is within their linebacker position because they can move around. They don't have to play balanced defense. They can try to catch you off guards because they can have the linebackers on one side of the field and they can bring a safety out of the defensive backfield during the course if you're going to run the ball repeatedly. But I do think with the power on the inside by the Bears, I think that the Arizona Cardinals defense is susceptible to the interior running game. So if you want to dedicate yourself to David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert in the ball carriers on this team, and you want to make sure that you guarantee them that you're going to have over that 20 carry threshold that we all look for, I do think that you can have sustained time of possession by the Bears offense against this defense. Listen, Arizona has scored 38 touchdowns. They've given up 23. You better score touchdowns. This is not a field goal game. This is not a Cairo Santos come in here and kick a 50-yarder. It's go for it on 3rd and 4th downs, get first downs, stay on the field, get in the red zone and score touchdowns.
Right, they've scored over 300 points, and they have been stingy on the defensive side of the ball. 46 points allowed over the last 3 games without Kyler Murray. What they've been doing is getting on teams, and nobody's been able to get back in it. So that's the key. I think time of possession is critical, but it's got to produce points. It just can't be running down the clock and you don't get in the end zone. Start fast, play fast, possess the football, keep that offense off the field. Their biggest weakness is the run defense. It's ranked 18th. Not horrible, but it is their weakness right now. And the Bears have struggled a little bit here in the last couple of weeks getting yards per carry.
But you got to rededicate yourself. They've had an extra day of work. They have to say, David Montgomery, trust your point of attack because that's where you're going to be provided the most strength in this offense. You follow the big double team blocks upfield, get yourself 2.5, 3 yards into the defense, then you become the playmaker that we know you are. So I still think that they can be a dedicated run the ball first team.
Who to block? Couple of guys. Number 1, Chandler Jones had a 5-sack game in week 1 at Tennessee, then 2 sacks and a forced fumble for the NFC Defensive Player of the Week honor for the second time this season against Seattle in the last game. And then you've got Marcus Golden. He's been around. They signed him to a $4.5 million contract, but he's made $1 million in bonuses already because he's hit 10 sacks. He gets another $1 million if he hits 13 sacks. he's hunting for sacks.
Right.
Like he says, we're going hunting.
Well, you know, they have two guys that are responsible for 18 of their 29 sacks. So it's not like you have to have a variety of guys that you're responsible for. Make sure you take those two guys out of the game when you're throwing the ball. When you break the huddle, you know that there's a pass called. You know where your protection is. Block those guys, and it'll give the quarterback, whomever plays, an opportunity to get the ball downfield.
And circle safety Buda Baker.
Yeah.
Buda Baker's a bad man back there. That's a positive for Buda Baker. He's an excellent football player. They take away the football, so that's the other key, protect the ball. Special teams, hey, it's an interesting matchup. Matt Prater struggled here a little bit. They have an outstanding punter in Andy Lee. The Bears have a great operation at Soldier Field. I know this man predicted 87% chance of rain on Sunday.
It's gone down to 72%.
It's gone way down.
Yeah.
It's gone way down. I don't know. Come on out, have a good time, cheer loud. Bears look for their second win in a row. Hey, as we sit here right now with 6 to go, as crazy as it sounds, they're just one game out of a playoff spot. So, hey, make it a 6-game season and go at it. With Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Thanks for watching Game Preview. We'll talk to you next time.